Hey guys, it's Tanya from My Fancy Design Shop, and today I'm going to go over my new lettering brush set for Procreate called the Metallics. And with this set, you get 7 brushes, 3 color palettes, and 8 paper textures. And my main goal, because I'm a big fan of watercolor to begin with, I wanted to create a metallic set that looked pretty realistic, meaning it had the dark, rough edges and the texture inside, but also that brightness to it. So let's get started. Now with the set, you'll see that there's 7 brushes. The first 2 are the same, except one is in the script form and one is in a monoline version. I'm going to take one of my colors from the metallic palette, and I'm going to grab this script, and I'm going to show you really quick what this is going to look like. So I have an M for you, and you'll see that it has the darker, rough edges and the texture inside, and as you apply less pressure with your upstrokes, you're going to see the texture just change a little bit. Now with the monoline, it's the same thing with the dark edges. You'll see the dark edges that are rough, the texture inside, except the texture is going to be more consistent because it's a monoline, so you're not really working with pressure. Now the next 2 in the list, you'll see that they're called dark metallic, script, and monoline. And this is because these 2 are meant for dark backgrounds. And I'll show you why. I'm going to bring a black background on, add another layer, and I'm going to get my dark metallic palette, and let's do with a blue. Okay, so I have my script one. Let's stick with M. So now you'll see that some of the black background will peek through just to give it a little bit more dimension, but it still has that rough texture to it. Same thing with the monoline. You'll see that rough texture. Now, a trick with these brushes is that this is one layer. If you wanted the texture or the color to be more vibrant or pop through more, you can actually duplicate the layer and you'll see it brighten up instantly. So let me just do a close-up of this. So this is your original layer that you lettered, and then if you duplicate the layer, it just brightens right up. So I think it's a fun way just to add a little bit more to it, especially depending on what color you use on your color wheel. Now let me just show you the quick difference. If I had the black background and I used my first 2 metallic brushes that are really meant for a white background, you'll actually see a white outline. Let me see if I can grab another color. Okay, so you'll see a white outline, and that's just because of the settings and how I created the brush. It is pretty cool. You can still do that. It gives you a really nice outline that you actually don't have to do by hand. But do you see how different it will look between a white background and a black? So that actually gives you 2 different looks for these brushes. Now, if I had my metallic brush, now remember this is just one layer, this is 2. It would look differently if I had it on a white background. Immediately it lightens up. The texture doesn't pop as much and the color isn't as vibrant. So again, even if I duplicated it and had the double layers, you see kind of like the difference of it. So still feel free, whatever background you want to choose to use these brushes on. Just keep in mind that it will definitely give you a different look depending. So there's more versatility, I suppose. Okay, and next on this set is my metallic outline. Now, I don't know if you've seen these brushes before, but there's these markers out there that have, when you letter on them, on paper, it has like a metallic inside and a colored outside. And that's what I wanted to do for this brush. So I'm going to grab my outline palette. I'll grab another purple and my brush, and you'll see right here, let's do an O. You know what, that's the matte. Yep. Okay, you'll see that it has a metallic and textured inside, and then an opaque but a slight gradient that I did with a rough edge outside. Same thing with there's one that's called a magic, which my magic brushes usually mean that they're color changing. So depending what you want to do, because this is a modeling brush, you want to actually still add pressure to how you letter to get that change in color. So it's kind of more of like pastel-y rainbows. But so that is my version of those markers digitally. I'll show you in a different color. Do pink. That's the magic one. That changed colors. And here is the regular outline. So no matter what color that you choose, the color on your color wheel is going to be the outside. And then the inside is going to be just a lighter color of it for the texture. Now, with these brushes, they're just like my outline brushes from my Between the Lines set, which meaning you want to try to letter in one stroke so you don't have any overlapping areas. So if I were to do high, I want to try to keep my pencil on the entire time, or even art. And you just want to be very careful. And you do something like that. If you couldn't letter in one stroke, what you then would have to do is lift up your pencil, and because you can't letter in one stroke, you're going to see that overlapping area. So instead, you want to add another layer to your next stroke, and then go back and just kind of erase the overlapping areas. Now, because you're dealing with texture and stuff, this isn't as easy as to erase it as my outline set, my Between the Lines set. So you just kind of have to work with it. So you see how we're going into that next texture. So we got to be kind of really careful. Okay, and there you have it. So after just very quickly erasing some of the overlapping areas, you'll see that you have a finished letter that doesn't have any, or letter finished word that doesn't have any overlapping areas. You will have a slight line right here, but it's not quite noticeable. So still pretty cool. Same thing with the magic outline. Again, like I said before, it's just going to show you a little bit of a color difference. And then because of that, you just want to go back and erase all that, which I guess we'll do really quick just to give you an idea what it can look like. Okay. All right, so next what we're going to go over is my transparent outline. This is definitely more like my Between the Lines set, meaning, let's grab a different color. Let's raise the, okay, let's do love. Okay, so I have my line. Again, you want to try to letter in one stroke. If not, just work in layers and erase the overlapping lines. But so with this, as you can see, it has a transparent inside. Of course, you can leave as is, but what we want to do is actually add a metallic inside. Now to do that, what you want to do is click on your layer. You want to hit reference. Then you want to add a layer below it. Pick a color from your color wheel. It can be any color, it could be the color that you letter with, it doesn't matter at this point. And what you want to do, making sure you're on that bottom layer and you have your lettering layer as reference, you're going to drop in a color. So now you can see that you have filled in the middle. Now what you want to do is, you have 8 paper textures from this set. 2 are actually watercolor, a white watercolor and a black watercolor texture. Then there are 6 colored metallic paper textures. So what you can do is hit add, insert photo, and pick one of those textures. So I'm just going to keep with silver. And what you want to do is just kind of position it so it's over or covering your outline, the inside of it. You can size it up, size it down, however you want. And so I'm going to do that. Now make sure that this layer is between your reference layer, which is your outline, and your layer that you colored in the inside. And what you want to do is change that to a clipping mask. And you see that it's actually going to cover your inside of your lettering. So if you can see, I'll just group them really quick so you can see the difference. This is just with the outline, and when we add the clipping mask of the metallic texture, it brings that right in the middle. So you see you still have that rough opaque edge and then the metallic inside. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, you can use different colors. I'll show you a different color. But why don't we, let's do this turquoise color. And you always want to make sure you have a clipping mask on, and then it gives you that look. So it's super cool. You can even play around with the color settings if you want. You see you can actually change color. So even though you're only getting about 6 of these paper textures, the metallic ones, you can still get a bunch more just by playing around with these settings. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, one more thing. Let me show you how to add the watercolor paper texture, because I know some people have had questions about it. So if I have, I'm just going to duplicate those together. My dark, we'll keep it with the dark one. The dark metallic, I would then add my paper texture. And what you want to do, because all these are square, which they're actually meant for easy use to make like Instagram posts and stuff, all you need to do is make sure that it says uniform, magnetic, and just fit to screen. And it'll fit whatever canvas size you have. And with this, you'll see that it has a watercolor paper texture. You just want to bring that below your lettering, and so you have that. Now, if you were to use the white watercolor paper texture, let's bring this back. What you want to do is add that photo. So you want to fit to screen, and you're going to add it to the top. Then what you want to do is hit the layer, the N, which is the layer setting, and you're going to go to multiply. And you'll see that texture kind of pop through a little bit through your lettering. And then you have the option of just bumping down the opacity just a little bit, because this, for me personally, is a bit strong, depending what I'm working with. So I like to bump down the opacity to make around 70% or so. But it's all personal preference. So those are ways to use my paper texture as well for the backgrounds. And that is about it. Again, it comes with 3 palettes, just to kind of use as a stepping stone. You don't have to stick to it. It is fun to play around with as you're lettering and see what colors work. And that's about it. If you have any questions, just let me know. And if you do grab this set from my shop, I would love to see your designs. So be sure to tag me on Instagram at My Fancy Design Shop. Thanks again, guys.